Hello, welcome to Lone Star Legal Aid's Law Talk Friday. Before we begin, I do have a disclaimer. This presentation is intended to serve as legal information and does not replace legal advice. If you need legal help, please contact Lone Star Legal Aid online or by phone at www.lonestarlegal.org or 1-800-733-8394. All right, now on to today's Law Talk. We are doing a piece on online volunteering in Texas. So first off, what do we mean by online volunteering? Across Texas and the nation, legal aid organizations are using technology to connect pro bono volunteers with low-income Texans who need help. In Texas, several organizations have designed pro bono portals, which makes it easier for lawyers and law students to search, learn about, and volunteer for matters suitable to their interests and skills, and to connect directly with referring agencies such as legal aids or local bars to get started. These portals also allow service organizations to manage and track pro bono interest and engagement. With me today are two attorneys from the online portals available in Texas. Let's go ahead and introduce yourself. Elliot, do you want to start?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Elliot Fontanet. Just a little bit of a bio. I went to LSU for undergrad. I went to UT for law school. I got out of law school and went to work for Texas Legal Services Center. I've been working at TLSC 11 years as a staff attorney, but if you include when I was an intern, it's like 12 years now. I work on the website Texas Free Legal Answers, and just a little bit about Texas Free Legal Answers. Texas Free Legal Answers, just jumping right into it, just make sure.
Oh, well, I was hoping to finish the introductions first.
Oh, sorry, that's why I'm
No worries. Fiona, if you do introduce yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Fiona Awe. I work as a civil justice attorney with the State Bar of Texas Legal Access Division. Before I joined the State Bar last year, I was a practicing attorney in Wisconsin for the Legal Aid Society of Milwaukee. I was a staff attorney in the Guardian ad litem Family Court Division.
And my name is Belinda Martinez. I graduated out of South Texas College of Law here in Houston. And I'm the managing attorney here at Lone Star Legal Aid and in charge of the pro bono portion of the Texas Disaster Legal Help portal. All right. Well, each of your organizations have created an online portal program for pro bono attorneys. If you could give the audience just an overview of your program, why it was created, and how does it work? Let's see. Let's start with Fiona this time.
So at the State Bar, I oversee the State Bar's statewide pro bono programs and disaster response programs. And as part of that, we have our website called Pro Bono Texas website, which is a website for attorneys looking for volunteering information, resources, tools, that kind of stuff. We initially launched Pro Bono Texas, I believe in June of 2016. And we had a page on there where people could go search for Texas legal service organizations and reach out to them that way or read about the kind of pro bono opportunities they offer. So that was how we were kind of coordinating, volunteering at the bar. And we realized that we wanted a more centralized statewide portal that we could invite other legal services organizations across Texas to join, post their opportunities on there. So that when people reach out to us, we had a lot of attorneys reaching out to us, where do I volunteer? How do I volunteer? We can send them to one centralized place. So that is the idea behind the State Bar portal, which we launched just this January with Paladin. It's a justice tech company. And so with how the portal works is, any legal service organization in Texas that wants to partner with us and start posting on the portal can reach out to me. And then once they sign up, go through the registration process, they can automatically start posting their opportunities. We do focus all the opportunities on Texas clients, and so it has to be a Texas case just because we want to promote pro bono in Texas. But out-of-state attorneys can also volunteer as long as, they meet the jurisdiction, requirements. So that's how that works. Attorneys all across the state, all across the nation can go on Paladin, look up any case that they want to, any kind of topic of interest that they have. There are filters on there, so you can search for immigration, family law, or who you want to help. If you want to help children, women, immigrants, things like that. And then it's just clicking to say you are interested in the opportunity. You are directly connected with the legal service organization, and then they take it from there and volunteer. So that's how our portal works.
Thank you. Elliot?
Yes, ma'am. So I work as a special projects managing attorney on Texas Free Legal Answers. Now, Texas Free Legal Answers is based on the walk-in clinic model, but digital. So clients request brief legal advice and counsel about a specific legal issue from a volunteer lawyer. The great thing is attorneys can log in and provide answers 24/7, 365 days a year from any location with an internet connection. So it's especially convenient for volunteer populations that have like restricted time, such as like law firm, corporate law departments, and government attorneys, as well as part-time, retired, at-home attorneys. It's jointly administered by the American Bar Association. It's their platform. And the Texas Legal Service Center, what we do is we administer Texas Free Legal Answers while the ABA guides the administration of the nationwide system. We work on this project as part of a larger effort at TLSC to empower self-represented litigants. So this is in addition to our work administering and supporting the statewide legal aid information and resources website, Texas Law Help. So Texas Free Legal Answers, just to give you a bit of a background. So, if you're just a regular person, you want some advice, you can just log on, you have to make an account, you have to qualify, but all that's done before the attorneys get to their question. You post your question, and then an attorney can come at any time of the day, scroll through, they can delineate and separate out by issue. So if you're only comfortable with like disability rights or family law, you don't have to do something that you're not comfortable with. You can just so say you really know disability rights, you really know, like, say, reasonable accommodations. And you see one, you can take it, you can answer it, and you can just give them a discrete answer. And you can also either close it at that point, or you can say, let's go a little bit further for you, need a little bit more clarification, but they get a real answer and then they can move on about their life. And so that's sort of the model. So since from August 26th, 2020 to August 26th, 2021, there were 2,813 questions answered by an attorney for about 2,702 people assisted. That averages out to about 234 questions answered a month. And it's actually been picking up this year because we already have 1,822 questions answered since the beginning of January. So that's sort of the program.
Thank you. Wow. Just for low-income clients out there, that sounds like a great resource.
We've been seeing a lot of use, especially because of the COVID-19 crisis.
And the eviction moratorium ending, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, as I stated before, I represent Texas Disaster Legal Help Portal. We are a coordinated project between Legal Aid of Northwest Texas, Lone Star Legal Aid, and Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid. And we are aimed at improving access to justice for those affected by disasters. Our project allows both attorneys, law students to get a one-stop shop to find cases suitable for their interests and skills, and then to also access the critical resources, I guess, also in one place, while making it easier for them to find disaster survivors needing help. Our project basically hopes to increase the number of disaster survivors receiving legal assistance so they can get the help they need to continue the recovery process after disaster and provide the support and mentorship pro bono attorneys need to have successful representation. Not many lawyers practice FEMA appeals before coming to us. I mean, why would you? It's such a niche market. Our portal, as stated, does focus on those affected by disasters. So I guess it's not a surprise we begin developing this after Hurricane Harvey. The building that housed LSLA, I'm sure some people might know this, some people might not, flooded and then caught fire. So LSLA was effectively nearly shut down. Meanwhile, volunteers were contacting us. So we lost critical time sorting and organizing volunteers and getting them in contact with clients. And just one of the biggest challenges identified post-Harvey was that the three largest legal aids did not have any state level mechanism to quickly connect interested pro bono attorneys and the clients. To that end, LSLA, Lanwitt, and Trala developed a statewide mobile-friendly website with a cloud-based disaster pro bono portal. So really when the next disaster hits, and I always say when, not if, because it's a win. So when the next disaster hits, be it flooding in the Gulf Coast, wildfire in Bastrop, tornado in North Texas, the legal aid and pro bono attorneys from other regions can easily find cases and help disaster survivors. To volunteer with us, you just go to our website, texasdisasterlegalhelp.org. It goes through our approval process. Once approved, they will have an attorney dashboard that gives the ability to review cases remotely and choose which case they want to take based on interest and available time. The portal has attorney training on some of the most common legal issues faced by disaster survivors via online classes, videos, webinars, and for those on the go like me, we also have a podcast. Yeah. Tune in, Texas Disaster Legal Help Hub on Google, Amazon, and any other platform, I think.
What was it again? I want to put it in the chat.
Texas Disaster Legal Help Podcast.
Okay.
And we're also available on Apple Podcasts as well.
Let me listen. Oh, good. Sorry.
Hosted by you truly, Pablo Amaguer from Trala and Amy Allen from Lanwitt. So tune in. And actually, one of the podcasts, so I'm going off topic slightly, but the podcast on ethics, there is actually ethics credit for it through the state bar. So
that's so cool.
Needing that, take it out.
I've always thought like, hey, would it be great to have a podcast for legal aid? But I didn't know it was already out there. That's wonderful. Kudos.
Well, we might ask you as a guest speaker.
Oh man, I spoke too much.
Sorry, too late now. Can't back out.
Okay.
Yeah, the podcast has actually been pretty successful. It's been pretty popular. But on our website, in addition to all the online training, we also have an online resource library, which includes video, speaker recordings, other CLEs, and document templates. One of the things we do offer is free CLEs to our attorneys. And then once they've selected a case, basically they'll be supported by the legal aid organization that posted the case, either Lanwitt, Trala, or LSA. So that's how we work.
And I just want to say, like, what you're doing is just so essential, because I remember when Harvey hit, I was at Legal Aid then, and there were so many people that wanted to help. There were so many good resources, but it was just a connection issue, a lot of it. And so this is going to be so useful.
Exactly. I think that's why also the state bar started there, is it's just we needed that connection. And who knew that COVID was coming?
Well, and that's actually something that. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's actually something that, you know, the more you can build out these remote options, and the more flexible you can be, the better. Because I mean, I don't think anybody's saying that you don't need any in-person services, but the more you can sort of roll with these punches that you don't know are coming. You don't know what the next thing's going to be. The more flexible we're able to be, the more we have these online resources, the better.
Exactly. Which kind of leads into my next question. So we covered basically, you know, some of the volunteer opportunities online that exist out there and why were they created. So next question is, you know, for the attorney out there, already volunteer with an organization, why do online? Or why should I go to the site? So how do you think online portals aid pro bono attorneys with volunteering and or helps the community at large? Let's, Elliot.
Okay. I think there's a few main benefits. Number one is just time. You just at least for our portal, it's a very low time footprint to just come in, do some research, look at some of the resources that we offer on the website to support attorneys, and offer that discrete answer. And the other is one of the things that we are really focused on at TLSC is that when you volunteer, our goal is to remove the friction from that process. And what I mean by that is, part of a job, there's always friction. There's always stuff there's like administrative work, there's tracking work, things like that you got to do. Whereas what we try to do is we try to take as much friction of that off their plate so they can just help people. And that's one of the things that if you really just want to come in, answer a quick question, even if you're already doing other stuff, it's something you can do. So I say this all the time. So when I'm doing presentations, so say it's like 3 p.m. on a Saturday and say something you were going to do got canceled and you got, all of a sudden you got the rest of your day sort of just not planned out. You just got time on your hands. And you're like, man, I really wish I could help somebody right now. Well, you can just log on to Texas Free Legal Answers, take a question, do some research, and learn at the same time. Because one of the things that I remember when I first got out of law school, 12 years ago now, I had hair then. It was good. These are the ruins of a lost civilization. Like I remember when I first got out, all my friends just thought I knew all the law of all time ever. And I'm like, I don't know all the law. Not close. But you're just going to learn stuff about different areas of law, because one of the things I've learned by working with our volunteers is you get out there and you start practicing and you know everything about this discrete area of law. But it's always good to learn something about something you don't know. And so the learning is another benefit they can really get.
Thank you. Fiona?
So I think for this, the state bar is a bit different in a way that we support legal aid organizations, right? We don't have clients that we, directly work with, or we don't work with just one organization or the other. And so for us, the main goal for the portal is to kind of make sure that people have access to different organizations. So for example, right now with COVID, with a lot of hearings being virtual, it's very easy for people to log on to, our portal, look for a case, reach out to, the legal service organization and say, hey, I'm interested in this case. The legal service organization schedules meetings online with the client. So the person doesn't even have to travel, you can do it all from the comfort of your home and represent the client. So the whole, legal process can be done in one sitting, right? And so that's super easy. Also, we found that a lot of larger organizations usually get more volunteers, right? So like the big three LSC, Strala, Lone Star, Landwid, Legal Aid of North Texas, they are probably getting most of the volunteers because that's where people generally look. But there are also very specialized organizations who need volunteers and don't have the bandwidth to reach out to, lawyers, law students, even, legal support people. So like interpreters, paralegals, people like that can all volunteer. So this portal has, different opportunities for different people involved in the legal process. And it's easy for people to get on and kind of search for specific issues. So we had one organization reach out to us. They got a specific grant that they wanted corporate counsel to work on pro bono projects. And it was very specific to corporate counsel. And so, if you are not a corporate counsel person looking for a specific opportunity, you may never know, right? But if you are interested in volunteering, you can go on the portal and figure out, there are all of these other opportunities, all of these little kind of niche areas that you can volunteer in. So I think that way, the portal has made volunteering very accessible, very easy, less time consuming because there isn't that much travel. and trying to look at 1,001 websites to figure out where to volunteer.
And yeah, just to echo what you said, Fiona, we've actually gotten some volunteers on Texas Free Legal Answers from the portal, from your portal. So just thank you. Like, so if you're an organization and maybe you don't know how to connect and get the word out, I really encourage you to put your opportunity on the State Bar of Texas Pro Bono portal, because like there's a lot of people looking at it nowadays.
And we're on the State Bar's portal as well. So because it'd be crazy to pass up that resource. I know for us, what we hear a lot from our volunteers is with the online access to resources, they feel confident taking cases outside their wheelhouse. So a lot of corporate counsel, like you mentioned, some new law students or new lawyers, and then some veterans who just haven't practiced anything, but like I have a family law background. And so it allows them to broaden their skills and the type of cases and broaden their practice in turn. Another thing I would like to mention, speaking of CLE credit again, if you take a case or mentor someone taking a pro bono case, you do receive CLE credit, I think up to 5 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. One of our, we did this thing called Pro Bono Spotlight where we highlight one of our volunteers, and he gave a great quote. He said it like, well, now I'm just not a Dallas-based attorney working with Planwit, but I can also help those in the Southeast and Lone Stars region and in the Southwest in Trala's region. So these portals maybe not eliminate, but definitely reduce barriers related to scheduling, geography, transportation for the attorneys and for the clients, which helps low-income clients in general. And one thing we've noticed, it's a huge help to those in more rural communities where there's an overwhelming need for pro bono services. They can just, the online portal, I think, is really going to be helpful in filling the access justice gap in rural areas. People in those areas are often overlooked for legal and other services, quite frankly, despite the poverty in these areas. According to, I think several censuses now, the poverty rate is always well above the national average in these communities. And I think I read data somewhere like the 500 poorest counties in the country, 459 were rural. And then 500 lowest per capita counties for income, 481 were rural. I mean, the staggering statistics. Increasing population representation, less population, so smaller pool of attorneys practicing, and then the pool decreases again on those able or willing to take pro bono cases. And then also with this small pool of lawyers comes, you can be conflicted out pretty easily if you've been practicing a while. So even though you're willing to take the case, you just may not be able to. And also, like I said, the traveling. Well, I mean, traveling was always a burden for a rural attorney because sometimes you have to go to multiple counties, and that can get, that means like long drives, hour and a half. I think we're seeing a reduction in that issue with thanks to remote hearings and online docket calls and stuff like that. Hopefully that continues. It's almost the one silver lining in the COVID pandemic. It's just both clients and attorneys, and they've had a lot less defaults in the courts because clients are able to mobile in. So hopefully they keep that. So yeah, just, and I'm not knocking rural attorneys, actually. Legal aid organizations in rural communities face the same problems. Just less staff, less people, less personnel. So yeah, not knocking rural attorneys. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, and just to echo what you said about one of the things that's great about these portals, especially from the client perspective, is it does make Texas smaller. Because I actually do a lot of these, and one of the things I bake into all of my volunteer orientation presentations is the first thing I always talk about is poverty. And because to me, it colors what we do. We're sort of responding to that condition of the world of poverty. And I have some some 2017 statistics. I'm still trying to find like the most up-to-date ones, but basically, as of 2017, there was 12.3% of the nation that was in poverty. But if you look at Texas, it was actually, which actually translates out, 12.3 at that point translated out to 39 million people. That's actually more than the entire population of Texas at 27,236,441, if I remember correctly. But Texas actually had a higher incidence of poverty at 15.6%. And one of the reasons was it's so rural, and it's counterintuitive because it's not something people really think about unless you're in the sphere. And it is sometimes harder to serve the rural counties because there's travel costs, there's just getting the word out. We were starting a rural clinics project at TLSC back in 2014. And I was going out to a county about an hour east of Amarillo. And I was just struggling, how do I do outreach here? Like, how do I get the word out? Because you have to be sort of a trusted entity. And the more we can promote things like Texas Freelancers or Texas Disaster Legal Help and any other pro bono portals, the more you're going to become a trusted entity, and that outreach is going to become so much easier. It's one of the successes we've seen on Texas Law Help is that, because I started working at TLSC in 2009. Texas Law Help started in earnest in about 2002. And it's just taken almost 20 years of building, but now people sort of know it. And what I'm hoping is these pro bono portals become the same thing. So, if you're in a rural county, you're like, oh, just go to Texas for Legal Answers. This is a disaster issue. Oh, go to Texas Disaster Help. They're going to help you. It's like one of the best experiences of my life, and it's very cheesy, and people laugh at me, but it's the truth, is I'll meet people like just in my life, and they'll be like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I work at Legal Aid, and the thing I really worked on, and I'm working on this pro bono project now, but I worked on Texas Law Help. And they're like, oh, I use Texas Law Help for my divorce. It's like, it's getting out there. And my passion, my hope is that these portals become just so ubiquitous that you take the part of having promoted so hard where people just sort of know about it. And it's just trusted. It can get on the news stations very easily, and especially after disaster, because, the 72 hours after the disaster are essential. If you can get that out right away, you can just do so much good. And of course, you know that.
Mm-hmm. That's actually one of the goals for Texas Disaster Legal Help. I just want, disaster in Texas, let me go here. Yep. That's one of the big pushes. The need's so great. Well, did anyone else have any comments that they wanted to, coming up on the half hour here? So start to wind down. Went by quick.
I do want to point out that on the pro bono portal, different organizations can actually connect with, corporate departments who are using the portal through Paladin. So law firms, certain law firms are already partnered, even though they can partner with us because they're not legal service organizations, they can partner with the parent company, Paladin, to have a presence on the platform. And that's a very easy way to connect, legal service organizations with, law firms, corporate legal departments that are using these platforms. And there are a few in Texas that are using that. So, it's a good way to also connect with people that they are already connected with, but make it an easier, way to share information. So for example, if legal service organizations post an opportunity on the portal, you can simply just directly share it with the firm that they're working with. It's a firm-wide thing, people can see it, or it goes to the, the pro bono coordinator at that firm, and then he or she can talk to, the lawyers at the firm to see if they're interested, and they can directly sign up that way. So that's one thing that I hadn't spoken about before that I think it's important to point out as well.
Oh, no, that's wonderful. I didn't know that. That is great news. Ready stream of volunteers. All right.
Right.
Elliot, did you have anything to wrap up?
I just want to say thank you for having me. And I just want to say how great it is. Just the State Bar is so supportive of what we do, and they're such a good facilitator and support. We're actually right now working on more resources to support pro bono efforts across the state. and Fiona is instrumental in that. So just thank you.
Thank you for your time. I know everyone's really busy. So thank you, Elliot. Thank you, Fiona. And I just kind of wanted to wind down, kind of cheesy, but a little call to arms. I mean, because the fact is, there are millions of Texans eligible for legal aid and other services. Sad fact is, we can't take all the cases out there. And many of the clients get disenfranchised. They feel like there's no one to help them. And often they've just given up, like, this is what it is. That's why we need pro bono volunteers. And I know we sometimes, as legal aid attorneys or pro bono volunteers that do the work, sometimes just don't even realize how impactful some of our work can really be. For us, it's minor. It's like simple. It could just be, what was it? One of my cases, it was just making a phone call. A client had gotten her benefits reduced, and she didn't speak. She spoke rather unique language, and so it was just a miscommunication. It took, hanging out on hold with the benefits line and just kind of clearing it up, and we were able to restore her full benefits. About an hour, 15 minutes. Or it could just be like filling out a document. And one of the things we saw a lot in the disaster relief unit when I was there, proof of home ownership. You have to prove home ownership to get FEMA funds. And sometimes that transfer hadn't happened in a couple of generations. They'd been living there, paying taxes for decades, but still titled in great grandmother's name in some cases. So it's just helping them fill out the FEMA form or maybe an affidavit of heirship, which if they can get their witnesses together quickly, that's case is going to last maybe 2 days, a few hours worth of work. And that's just it. For us, it's simple. It's an hour of our day, a couple hours. But to them, it means being able to afford food or rent, or being able to repair and stay in their family's home. For us, simple. For them, it's everything. It's life-changing. So
I'm
attorneys
going to
out
steal that. For us,
Okay.
simple. For them, it's everything. That is the essence. That's perfect.
Thank you. So attorneys out there, please visit TexasLesterLegalHelp.org, www.appjoinpaladin.com, Pro Bono Texas. I think in the chat, there's also the, see.
Just put the free legal answers in just now.
Okay, thank you. It's like, and free legal
Well, I
answers.
was noticing it, like, I haven't been a good hype man. I gotta put my website in.
Well, we can put it in. We can put it in. Don't worry. But once again, thank you guys, and all of us keep up the good work.
Thank you, Belinda. Thank you, Elliot. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.